Hi, I'm Melody.
I'm Candi.
And I'm Gabe.
And you're listening to
Quirks,
Bumps,
and Bruises. Glad you're hanging out with us on Quirks, Bumps, and Bruises. And y'all, let's talk pet peeves, shall we?
Yes.
Pet peeves, things that just drive you crazy.
because everybody has a pet peeve.
More than one, more than
Yeah.
likely.
Yeah.
So let's start with Mr. Gabe Duncan over here. And
Do we have time in this podcast for Gabe's pet peeve?
yeah, because he's got a whole lot of have mercies.
Well, here's the thing. You're correct. Everyone has them. I just happen to voice them more than most people.
And
that's
loudly.
why, well, yeah. But that's why I'm happy. Because you got to get it. If you leave it bottled in, you just don't let it fester inside. You got to get it out. And that's why I'm a happy person. I just get it out there on the regular, and I'm good.
We're on your list of lots of pet peeves. What would be your top?
Technology in general. Actually, I think that was our very first podcast was talking about being so connected. Like you can't even
Too
pump your
connected, yeah.
gas without a screen shouting at you the entire time the DIY tip of the day. Ain't nobody care. Okay, go back to the first episode if you want to hear about that.
Whole nother podcast.
But I would say just technology in general. I'm a very personable person. Does that make sense? Like, I like to interact with people. I'm a very social person. So, in a lot of ways, technology is good for that because it keeps you connected if there's distance between you. I've got family on the West Coast. I've got families a few states away. I've got friends, people that are now around the world that I can connect with. We all know that. Just 2 seconds, you hold the world in the palm of your hands, and that's cool. They can keep you connected, and there's a lot of good that can be done with that for the gospel and for great things. It's good to keep people connected when there's distance between them. However, there's not that much distance between the person that you are sitting beside of, talking to,
Yeah.
and then they decide they're going to pull their phone out and do something else while you're in conversation with them.
So they're looking down at their phone and you're trying to talk to them.
Yes. So technology has given us this ability to be totally unaware of what's happening around us. And it almost like gives you permission to look at your phone because we all pretend like we're so busy all the time. Like someone's talking to you. If you're truly uninterested, you can just pull your phone and be like, oh, yeah, hold on a second. Let me check this. When the whole time you're scrolling Instagram, ain't no business going on. Ain't nothing serious. Nothing's on fire. But you're pretending like it just because you don't want to listen to somebody.
Have you ever been so aggravated talking to a person who is looking at their phone while you're trying to talk to them? Have you ever tried texting that person and being like,
Look up.
Oh, I
I'm
should
here.
do that. Typically, I'm like, I'll say something. That's a good thought, though. I should just pull my phone out and text them.
Next time, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, that should be my next approach. Yeah. So it's just common courtesy, just, manners 101. And technology has really given people this inaccurate outlook on life of, oh, I don't have to pay attention to you. Or what you're really saying when someone's talking to you, you're in conversation with them, and they decide to start scrolling TikTok or Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
You're not as important to me as what I can find on my phone. You don't matter, and my time is more valuable than yours.
And you don't.
That's
maybe
what
you don't
you're
mean
truly.
to tell. Like they're not meaning to look that way, but I know what you mean. It does.
It does. That's what it's
so
saying.
habitual. People
It
have
is.
just gotten so accustomed to just being on that phone all the time. I have a funny story. Years ago here at Joy FM, about 4 of the staff members came to my house and kidnapped me, so to speak, on my birthday and took me to a restaurant. And a
Goobers.
restaurant that I loved. It was called Goobers. And very appropriate for that group of people, too.
Eating a goober.
And we all sat down in the booth, and all 4 of them were on their phones, looking at their phones. And they had come and got me for my birthday. So I was like, well, happy birthday to me. It was so funny. And they weren't being disrespectful to me. It's just, I think that it's so habitual to just keep looking at your phone. My fear is that we're raising a generation of kids who are going to have no social skills at all.
But they can text.
Right.
Yes, but they can't interact
Nope.
on a one-to-one basis with another person. And that's scary because you're talking future leaders of our country.
Oh yeah, and just the people skills and things are just simply not there. I actually heard of a restaurant, I don't know where it is, but a restaurant that has a basket when you walk in. If everyone in your party, let's say it's a party of 5, if everyone puts their phone in the basket during your entire meal,
That's great.
they give you a discount on your meal just because they're trying to foster this atmosphere of connect with people. Actually look them in the eye. I'm tired of talking to you and looking at the top of your head. Like,
Right.
look at me. Let's have a conversation
One-on-one.
eye to eye, one-on-one. And if something is truly an emergency, something happens, they'll find a way to get a hold of you. I'm pretty sure the next 45 minutes for us to have this meal, there's not going to be a life-changing emergency.
Yeah.
It's most likely not going to happen.
Right.
So that would probably be my biggest pet peeve is just tech. I'm a fan. There's a lot of good things about phones and being connected, and I can do all kinds of stuff right there in the palm of my hand. But at the end of the day, if I had my choice, we would go back to what life was like in 1980. No phones, not that constant connection, and I truly do believe that people would be happier. And I know I'm saying that as you are listening to this on your phone right now. I understand that.
Yeah.
We'll put ourselves out of business. I understand that. But really, I do think that people would just generally be happier and be so much more connected, and people would feel valued more.
Candi, I don't know if you remember this, but the ladies of Joy FM a few years back went on a ladies retreat.
Yep.
And I had a basket. I kind of was
Headed it
over
up,
over this retreat, and I had a basket when they came in that with a little sign. I still have a picture of it. It said, "Thank you for placing your phone in the basket and being present this weekend."
Yeah.
And everybody did it. Well, I think a few didn't, but most people did it. Some just had a hard time with that. But that, and then recently, my husband and I went to a place that had no cell phone connection. Y'all
went to heaven? That was awesome. That sounds like paradise.
It was. You could not even call out. Like it was in the foothills of a mountain and beautiful lake and stuff, and it was glorious. Not having that cell phone on and knowing that you just couldn't look at it was like the greatest thing. And it just allowed us. We have busy schedules, so we were able to just sit and talk, and drink coffee, and just connect, and it's just becoming such a lost art, I think, between people. So that is your pet peeve, but it's kind of mine too, and I think it's probably Candi's too.
It is, yeah.
For all of us.
And we all know how much better we feel when we're not connected, but it's still extremely hard, and we don't do it enough unless we're forced to.
Yeah.
It has its place, but truly it's out of control.
Yeah. Well, Candi, what about you? Pet peeve, if you had to name one.
I would say, you know what is starting to bother me so much? We have moved into like Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, all these different eat out delivery places, okay? When you order something and you pay for it and it's not in the bag when it shows up.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that's like a simple whatever, but we here at work do that quite a bit together. We'll go in and we actually go to the trouble of spending $4 extra for a slice of cake. And when it gets here,
there's no cake.
It's not there.
And that's devastating.
It is devastating. I'd rather you forgot my spaghetti than my cake.
I know.
Right.
Do what you're supposed to do. Do what you're supposed to do.
And I've always wondered, what do you do about that? Should you call the restaurant and say, you did not put this? Because that's not the DoorDash's
No, they just pick up the bag and go. Yeah.
Right. So it's actually the restaurant's fault. So I think that we need to probably call that restaurant and say, that was not in this bag.
Which we have done before. Sometimes they'll just credit it, back to your account.
And that's usually what they do.
Yeah.
Just credit
but
it.
it's still like, if you don't put hot dogs on your menu, if you're not going to put them in the bag when I order them, like, don't do that.
Like, how hard is it to double check a bag?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just double check. Have that person that's all they do. Now restaurants are doing more takeout than they are in-house.
They are.
Oh, yeah.
So you need that person that their job is to double check every bag, But I get that.
Yeah.
Especially the cake thing. Of all things, the cake isn't in there.
Do you know another pet peeve of mine?
Oh, here's a bonus.
Oh,
Here's a
yeah.
bonus.
You're going to keep going.
Spitting. When you're with someone, and I will say, my little Wyatt, 11 years old, He spits. Like, we'll be in the middle of a conversation. If we're outside
You mean like
shooting the
It's a
basketball
phase.
or, whatever.
Makes him feel like a
that's
man.
a dude thing?
That's
Yeah,
a gross
it's a
thing.
phase.
My husband does it too. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what about, like, you can control your spit inside the house. Why is it that when we walk outside, all of a sudden you have to put your saliva on the ground?
Because it's a dude thing.
What is that proven?
That I'm manly.
That's just gross.
Not
What does
true.
that prove, Gabe? Tell us.
It's a manly trait.
Do
Yeah,
you
I have
do
to
it?
admit. As you say that, I'm thinking that it's true. You can control it when you're inside, but then when you get outside, I find myself when I'm outside, I do. I spit more. I mean, I don't spit inside the house at all, but
I used
like,
to have a friend who
I don't
would
know. It's just natural.
He would spit in the basement. Like when
In
he
the
would be upstairs, he
basement?
would go downstairs.
In the floor?
In the like the concrete, just floor.
Oh no!
And his
no.
mom was like,
Mm-mm.
"Why are you doing
No.
this? Why do you do it?" And he
Do it into a cup or go to the bathroom and do
What
it
is
into
up
the
with that?
toilet.
Oh, my great grandmother
No.
had a spittoon. Like it was made for that. Because she would put snuff in her mouth and she had a gold spittoon.
I'm just talking like people that don't have
Oh yeah,
anything.
my
well, just
grandpa
put a
had a.
spittoon out in the yard.
Okay. Good luck searching that one online.
All right, well that was your bonus one, Melody. You're up.
I kind of have two. One serious, one kind of funny. Not funny, but maybe not as serious. And that one is, y'all, please use your turn signals.
Oh, honey,
Like
Yeah.
they are on the car
I don't always.
for a reason.
know.
It is so annoying. Let me give you an example. Coming into work, you're on a busy highway, and over to the right of me is a lane that's going to let somebody either go completely straight and get off on another highway, or you get over to get on the highway I'm on. Does that make sense?
Yes,
No turn signal. So what do I think?
they're gonna keep going straight.
They're going to keep going straight. And so I just keep doing my thing until at the last second, they just jerk right in front of you and you have to slam on your brakes.
Yeah.
And then look in your rear view mirror and say, "Dear God, please don't let them hit me. Dear God, please don't let
I
them
know.
hit me."
I know.
I'm just saying. They're there for a reason. Just use your turn signals. I'm not asking for much.
I know.
No.
Really am not.
Yeah.
Candy, use your turn signal.
I know, and I go to work really early when there's not many people out on the roads. So sometimes I get used to that. Like, why do I need to turn my right turn signal on to turn right? There's nobody within 5 miles of me. Like,
Could
why?
be that policeman sitting
Yeah.
in that little alcove.
Yes. So, but yeah, I know.
Or the Batmobile's gone invisible, and you just don't know.
Well, okay, I never thought of that. I'll start using them.
Yeah, you better do that.
So that's just my little crazy driving pet peeve. There's lots of driving ones. I think we
Oh,
can all.
yeah.
That could be another podcast.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and time. I don't know what's going on the roads, but something's happening out there.
Yes.
Yes. So, but my more serious thing is when someone is trying to manipulate you
Oh, yeah.
And you
through
know
their
it?
words
Yes.
or through their actions to get you to do something that they want control of. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yes, you are more and more keen to it the older you get. You can see through and you can really see people's motives. Mm-hmm. When you're younger, you don't really look for it. But I don't know if it's more prevalent now or I'm just more keen to it the older that I get.
Yeah.
But yes, I fully get that and understand.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what age you are. Like I'm older than you two, but I still at times have feelings that I'm being manipulated. You know,
By us?
no, not by y'all, just
Oh.
by
Oh.
different.
I'd hope not.
No, not by y'all. I
I
just
thought
tell
I
y'all
hit
to
it
stop
better
it.
than that.
I would just say stop it if it were you two. I will go a step further and say it bothers me even more when I see someone doing it to someone else.
Yes.
Like you know that they're being manipulated by what is being said to them or done to them.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just feel like it's such an injustice
It is,
to them,
yeah.
especially if there's someone that is more soft-spoken or, more sensitive.
Easier to be
or-
manipulated.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You want to take up for them.
Yeah, I want to take up for them. I've always been like the one that wanted to take up for the underdog. That kind of is another one of mine that's more serious.
I looked up a couple pet peeves that destroy productivity, maybe like workplace pet peeves.
Yeah.
Number 1, coming to work sick.
Oh,
Do you ever work with that person that comes into work?
no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. lack of personal hygiene around the office. That's tough.
Yeah,
we
don't
have
be
that issue
stinking
here.
on up in here now.
There's no excuse for
There's
that.
not.
Us
all.
three work too close together.
And lastly, like the biggest pet peeve is meetings that could have been emails.
Oh, could we just park right there?
And pack a lunch, because I have a lot to say about that.
All right. Buckle up, everybody. Here's Gabe Duncan.
I'll go back to my first point. When you pull your phone out when someone's talking to you, you're telling them your time is not valuable.
Here we go.
Come on. Get it out, Gabe. Get it out.
When you leave a 2-hour meeting, no joke, 2 hours, knowing that could have been a simple email, all those bullet points, there ain't no reason for discussion. My time is more valuable than sitting in a room for 2 hours when all you had to do was email me a checklist. I'll send it back to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send some confetti emojis with it. But have mercy. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll stop there.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than sitting in a 2-hour meeting and you've just lost 2 hours of work time because you're in the meeting that could have been the email.
Yes, and you would be so much more productive.
I think anybody that's in any kind of workplace at all would say amen to that.
Yeah.
That's when I welcome technology. Email me that checklist. Let's not discuss it for 3 hours. Y'all both got bonus pet peeves. Do I get a bonus one?
Well, I don't think we're going to stop you, right?
I don't think
All
we
right.
have enough
No,
time
you won't.
for this.
You won't. No, real fast. When someone does bother to replace the toilet roll, the toilet paper roll in the bathroom.
Come on now.
But
the paper is rolled to the back and not to the front. I change it in the bathroom here at work.
oh yeah, it should be over.
If they put over, not yes. Why are you going to reach up under it and pull it out whenever it's on
I
the
know
front?
why
It would be
people do that.
easier. Why?
Those that put the toilet paper where you have to go underneath it think that you're using less toilet paper if you do it that way.
That's not
If you
even
do it over, then you can pull out, you can pull a lot out at one time. But if you have to go underneath and pull it, it seems like you don't ever get quite as much.
Are you under?
No, I'm over. I'm just saying I think that's why people do that.
Well, I think people need to think differently because I'm going to grab 2 squares no matter where it is.
Yeah.
But it's more convenient if
Just
it's over.
2?
2? That's all?
I use double ply.
Let's go back to the hygiene thing.
Oh, have mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Quirks, Bumps, and Bruises podcast with Melody, Candi, and Gabe. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and share the podcast. You can learn more at joyfm.org.
Try Peas and Carrots podcast for more encouragement. Brian and Kayla share life from their piece of the vegetable patch. Expect a laugh, find common ground, and hear stories you can't wait to share. It's a podcast about doing life together, growing in Christ together, and learning to laugh no matter what comes your way. Search Peas and Carrots podcast wherever you listen to podcasts today.